Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here. And today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon FireRed. Last time we went around the Pewter Nibi in Japanese museum. And we fully checked it. Last we talked to where we actually got blocked by the guy at the east exit of the city, and he brought us to Brock's to the Pewter City Gym. So yeah, today we'll tackle that. Well, we actually have also to talk to a girl outside it first and foremost, but yeah, after that we'll actually tackle the gym. Yeah, without further ado, let's start. Okay, yeah, we have something else now here. Because, yeah, we got the exit from down from Viridian Forest. Then on top, so the actual exit to proceed. Arrived at Nibishi, so yeah, Pewter City, the Japanese name. And yeah, the new one is that we exited the museum because yeah, we have visited it. Yeah, this is considered notable. And yeah, there at top, by the way, I showed the other entrance we can check out for now. But yeah, for now, let's talk to this girl. Who says, Pipi te tsuki kara kitatte uwasa shitteru? And yeah, so first and foremost, we have Pippi, the Japanese name of Clefairy. I think we might have seen it before already in this series, but we haven't checked it out. Yeah, we'll wait to actually encounter one for that, at the very least in battle. Then we have the casual quoting particle, so can be a replacement of simply to, of also to you. So yeah, the quoting particle plus the most generic verb of saying, literally to say you. We even studied its kanji. And other combinations, to you, noa, towa. Yeah, in this case, actually, it should be a combination with the to and wa, because it's. As for quotation, the name Pippi. So yeah, to define it. Then we have tsuki, tsukikara. First and foremost, tsuki, yeah, now we have even studied this kanji, means moon. Accent on the last more. The u of tsu is barely heard if at all because it's between our voice consonants. Not sure why that. Kara, the particle which means from. Then we have kita, also the e barely heard if at all because it's between our voice consonants again. Comes from kuru, which means to come. Completely regular verb, so we have to remember that its continuity form is ki, and then we simply attach ta. Luckily, apart from the irregularities of the verb itself, then it follows the easiest rules for the ta and so te form of two verbs, each and verbs. So yeah, we simply add the ta to the continuity form. Then we have again te, in this case simply to as the casual quoting particle as mentioned. But yeah, ta form, by the way, is simply past form of the verb in plain speech. Well, actually, not just to technically, because after it we have uasa, so I'd say better technically to you to attach it, technically speaking, as a relative clause to the name uasa. Notice that it's written in katakana, unlike, well, apart from Pippi, which is the name of the Pokemon, but that's expected at this point. Is if you do know Kana, you have noticed that the names of Pokemon are in katakana. I'm not sure if I've straight up pointed it out, but yeah. Like this one, Pippi, even more so considering its origin. I'm not sure actually if all of them, I'm currently forgetting. We'll actually see it soon enough, anyway, when we start fighting, when we get actually also ready to fight, because I would like to put a certain Pokemon in front. But yeah, Uasa, as I was saying, actually here in katakana, technically, I'd say the usage of katakana to put focus on the word, kind of like bold or italics in English, in European languages. Uasa, unaccented, means rumor, report, technically hearsay, but also gossip. Then we don't have a particle. Notice that a particle here would be simply the object particle, let's say. So yeah, that's one of the most common ones that gets dropped in casual speech. Yeah. Here she's definitely speaking pretty casually between the plain form, as we see at the end, the casual quoting particles, te. So yeah. While kara, for example, also te technically, even though it's the casual one, but even more so kara is kept. Yeah, then there's the verb shitteru. From shiru, should be an accent we have seen before, to know. You could say to get to know, technically. Better to find out, technically. According to the dictionary, but yeah, to learn of and so on. I mentioned that because, yeah, well, technically it would be the verb to know. Because of its usage, we can see also here. Shiru, uverb, codan verb. So, to make the te form, we have to follow the rules. It's in rules, so it becomes double consonant te. Again, we change the u into i. Shiri te, but then the i fell. Shir te, difficult to pronounce. Double consonant te. The form required because then we had ru, actually iru. The i gets dropped because it's contracted. Iru on its own, to be assumed to exist, of animate things, and also people and animals. After the form, continuing action or state. So yeah, in our case here technically would be state. Notice also when I mentioned the translations also given by the dictionary. Continuing action, the classic to be doing, the action of the verb, classic informing that usage. Continuing state, have, add what the verb says. So yeah, in our case here, technically, have you heard? Well, have you not heard? But yeah, then we have to adapt it in English. Literally speaking would be, have you got to know? Have you found out? Have you learned of? So yeah, because of that, technically that's a better meaning when adapting it into English. Because usually when we are talking about knowing something, we use with this Shiru the Teiru form, like here. In the negative, no, but yeah, that makes sense because if you don't know, you haven't learned of, you haven't found out, you haven't got to know about something. But yeah, at the end, not even a quoting particle, quoting particle, an interrogative particle, we straight up simply have the question mark here to show that the intonation is simply rising intonation. And yeah, that's a usage in more casual speech here. In Japanese, technically, you would have to use the interrogative particle ka, the best one, the most standard one. No can replace it also with again the rising intonation. But yeah, both can be straight up dropped, and we keep only the intonation. So yeah, she's asking us, have you, by adapting it, then I'd simply say, have you heard of, but yeah, have you learned of the rumor that Clefairy, well, actually at the start we would have asked for Clefairy, have you heard the rumor that it, or they as the species, come from the moon? And so yeah. And yeah, of course, after that we have Otsuki Miyama ni, I actually make it proceed. Yeah, Otsuki Miyama ni, again, Mount Moon's Japanese name. We properly check it when we get to it again, but now you can, you have noticed the Otsuki tsuki in it. So yeah, the moon. But there's more to it, and yeah, that we'll properly check when we get to it. Particle ni, so yeah, in at, I would say, as in the verb, actually no, based on what it says then after hit, to, as in into, arrived there. Hello Ken, nice to see you. Yeah, then here says, Tsuki no ishi ga ochite kara mikakeru you ni natta no. And yeah, tsuki again, moon, accent on the last syllable, but here becomes an accent because of the possessive particle after it. That's the rule of the possessive particle, no. It's convenient in practice because then it's tsuki no, and then simply keeps going until the next accent. In our case here we have ishi, stone, rock. There are other ishi, but not. Based on the context and straight up, we have seen one of these in the museum mentioned. Ishi accented also on the last syllable. So tsuki no ishi, and then we keep the accent because we have ga, the subject particle. So tsuki no ishi ga. So high, low, the tsu, because of the rule in Japanese that if the first mora is if the second is mora is high, the first one has to be low. The other way around, if the first one or the second one is low, the first one has to be high. In standard Japanese, this it differs in other dialects, like the Osaka Ben. I've seen the the Kansai dialect in general, the Kansai Ben. But yeah, as I was saying, so the moonstone. Then we have thank you. Yeah, yeah, I try my best here. Yeah, I do love video games and Japanese, so yeah, luckily it's easy in that sense. It's still not, it's still tough to stream this much and having to explain everything, but yeah, I do love both, so yeah, luckily it's easy in that sense. But yeah, after it we have Ochite from Ochiru, a verb, strictly Japanese verb, which means to fall. Again, we should have seen it last time in mentioned because of the whole moonstone and so on in the museum. Ru verb is some verb, accented should be yes, it is. So we can simply drop the ru to make the continuative form ochi and then attach the te. So yeah, again, easy for this class of verbs making the te form. The form in this case is required because we had kara after it. Not strictly the from we have seen before as a particle, even though most likely is related because the te kara expression, putting kara after the form of a verb, has the meaning after doing the action of the verb. So you could say technically from doing the action of the verb after happens something else. But yeah, so strictly speaking in English would then become after in this case, after since, but yeah, after. By the way, reminder that the ochite, the E of chi is barely heard if at all because it's written on voice consonant, but what I wanted to mention is that ochiru accent on the second to last mora in its dictionary form, terminal form. That a form is accent on the third to last mora. So, because for verbs and some verbs, the accent moves. So in this case, it's on the o, ochite, high, low, low. But yeah. Then we have mikakeru. Mikakeru is a compound verb. I'm not sure if we have seen this one. Yeah, the mi is again from miru. That one we have seen a lot, of course, because it's a verb which means to see, to look at, to watch. Ru verb is some verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. Here required to attach the second verb part of the compound. Kakeru, we have seen that on its own for sure. The usual hang up, its fundamental meaning. Several extended meanings we could say also to put on top of, by extension, to cover and so on. To apply, we have seen in a way, in a certain sense, in other contexts. Yes, so by combining these two verbs, to see and kakeru, I wonder if straight up I can find that meaning for kakeru when used as the suffix. Yeah, no, there it mentions the usual ones after the continuative form mass stem of a verb, which are to be partway doing, to begin but not complete, or to address someone, to direct something to someone. These other ones, the second one we have straight up seen, even in this very series, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So this mikakeru, combining these two verbs, ends up being to catch sight of, to happen to see. Kakeru on its own, accented, Mikakeru, unfortunately, unaccented, and we've seen that, yeah, sometimes this happens. So far, it seems that most of the time we keep the accent of the second verb part of the compound, but there are some exceptions, unfortunately, including this one. Then we have yo, technically a noun, so strictly speaking, we would have a relative clause again, or a verb in attributive position. No, technically, a relative clause including the previous parts, but yeah. Yo means form, style, design, way, method. In this case, with the ni after it, to, into, and the verb naru, to become, this one, accented. Naru, verb, colon verb, again in ru, so it becomes double consonant a here. To make that a form, and so the past form of the verb. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle no. Well, no technically is the usual, in this case, the usual nominalizer for verbs, thing as in fact. But yeah, when used as at the end of a sentence without anything else, it's technically used as a final sentence particle, which can have different meanings. As already mentioned, with a rising in tone indicates a question, not our case here. With a falling tone in general can indicate a confident conclusion, can also indicate emotional emphasis, and in that case it's considered female term or language, so yeah, because we're talking to this girl here. So yeah, the translation here is it has become so that, so yeah, this expression yoni naru has this meaning, as it becomes in the way, into, literally the way, or whatever other translation you prefer for yo in this case, but let's say this one could apply. But yeah, better in English would, I'd say, became, while still keeping it closer to the Japanese, it became so that, well, after the moonstone fell, we have to here that the form doesn't have the past in it. We straight up, we don't conjugate first the verb into the, we simply conjugate it into the form, and then we know it's in the past because of the past at the end of the sentence. But yeah, then in English we have to adapt it and put the past also for the first verb. Yeah, after the moonstone fell, it has become so that it can be, it's, you happen to see it, again we have mentioned above Creferis in general. And yeah, then we have the female term or language final sentence particle there. So yeah, here she was simply telling us about, again, the whole matter about Clefairy and the Moonstone. So yeah, now we can actually check out, start checking out the gym. Yeah, here first and foremost the sign, Nibishti Pokémon Gym, Riida Takeshi. Yeah, Nibishti, as mentioned already, Pewter City, we have already explained its origin. Pokémon Gym, simply Pokémon Gym. Gym accented like in English, we should have already seen it. Riida, as in the gym leader, Takeshi. Takeshi is the Japanese name of Brock. the accent is on the first mora because, that's the accent for given nouns which come from adjectives, which is the case here because we see the she at the end, and the she was actually the end of e adjectives in classical Japanese. Takeshi in particular is an adjective that on its own it's not used as is notice that she in contemporary Japanese, but it means, well, technically it can be found, but it would be an archaic usage. It means brave, courageous, and so on. You can simply say vigorous, enthusiastic, and other similar meanings. As mentioned also by Bulbapedia, other potential origins of the name, well, technically the she at the end could be still related to Ishi. That's the less likely part, will make sense considering the character, but not strictly speaking based on the name. More likely we have take also, which technically take unaccented can also mean bamboo. But in this case, more likely I'd say accent on the last syllable take can mean as a suffix mountain, a high mountain technically, more specifically, and as actually as a noun in general, mountain peak. That would make sense. Definitely more than bamboo. But so we have that. And then we have actually the motto, we could say, or the description. Tsuyokute katai ishi no otoko. And there's some wordplay at play here, as we'll see in a second. But first we have tsuyokute from tsuyoi, strong, simply. We've seen it before. And again, by the way, the accent tsuyoi of e adjectives in the dictionary form is on the second to last mora. When conjugating it into the conjugative form and then also the ku, it should move the accent on the third to last, so on the tsu. And then we simply attach the te, but it stays on the tsu, the accent. So tsuyokute. Also the u barely heard if at all because it's between our voice consonants. E adjectives, as mentioned, we drop the e, add ku to make the conjugative form, and then we can simply attach the te. Here the te form is fundamental usage. The action of the verb, or here the adjective, and the rest of the sentence. So as an and to connect it. In this case, to connect it to another adjective, the adjective katai should be unaccented, if I recall correctly. We have seen it before. It means hard, as in solid, tough. Unaccented. By extension, of course, we could say also strong, firm, also obstinate, stubborn, technically. And then we have this ishi. And in this case, actually, it could be technically still ishi. As already mentioned, accent on the last syllable. Well, here not, if that were the case, because of the following no. But on its own, yes, ishi, stone, rock. But I suspect, also considering the katai, that it could also be intended as ishi, accent on the first mora. So yeah, lucky in that case, the accent can distinguish them. Which means will, volition, intention, intent, determination. So yeah, honestly, well, first and foremost, rock, because of the the type, as we see, but also most likely considering the could also be will, volition. So yeah, wordplay with both meanings. Yeah, here it's not written with kanji, so yeah, it could technically be both at the same time, even though usually that wouldn't be the case, but yeah, it's wordplay. Japanese love their wordplay. If it weren't clear also from our starter Fushigidane, as already mentioned, mysterious isn't it, and mysterious seed, but yeah, we have already seen that. But yeah, after Ishi, we have no, the possessive particle, to attach it to Otoko. Otoko means man in general. To specify, technically, more specifically, would be actually male. But yeah, without adding anything else, then also man. But yeah, you could specify it, and we have actually mentioned at the very least, I think. Well, actually, thanks to this very series at the start, Otokonoko, there we don't follow actually the rule of no, but that's because it's a fixed expression. So we keep the accent of Otoko on the last mora, even in that, despite the no part, the possessive particle. But yeah, in that case, literally male boy, onnanoko, female girl, female child, sorry, I wanted to say, so yeah, male child, female child, so boy or a girl, well, they asked, Professor Oak asked us, yeah, here we have Otoko on its own, so yeah, man, technically. By extension, we could also say fellow guy, and so on. So yeah, the full translation is either Takeshi, either Brock. The man, or we could say the fellow of strong and hard, again as in firm, and so on. Rock, stone, or also will, actually. In translation, better will, but yeah, they're clearly playing on that, as mentioned. Yeah, it is. Yeah, today, I'm not sure if we'll do much catching, but we'll do battling, on the other hand, because yeah, we're tackling the gym. Yeah, with that, we can actually enter the gym. Yeah, here we have a couple of things to check before going up. We can already see actually a trainer there. First, let's talk to this NPC. Who first and foremost says Ossu. I should find it straight up as Os, technically in the dictionary. You might have heard it. Well, no, actually, technically in the dictionary it's mentioned as Ossu. I've seen it also without the doubling of the consonant. You might know it also, you might have heard of it if you have heard of the game Os Tatakae Oendan, the series of which technically Elite Beat Agent, that's the game that actually came out outside of Japan. A different game, but the gameplay is the same. yeah, if you have heard of that, you have heard of os before. Yeah, os is technique, made to more language, a greeting used between close friends. So, hi, yo, hey man, hey dude. But actually, and this is most likely the usage here, actually, and most likely actually the origin, used as a greeting in martial arts. So as a yes sir, understood. Most likely in this sense here, because I bet he will say it to us regardless. Yeah, technically the martial arts is related to Pokemon battling in this world, as we see also. Then he says, I move it up already. Pokémon champion no mezashite minai ka? First and foremost, we have Pokémon champion. Champion from English. I think we should have seen it before, thanks to that explanation about... I'm not sure, because we have seen mentioned the Elite Four, Shiten no. Don't remember if also the champion... I think also the champion, but let's check it. Oh yeah, the accent is like in English, as expected. Then we have the object particle O, written as one, pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. Mezashite, a verb. Actually, a compound verb. Because, yeah, first we have me. Me is the one we have already studied, accented on its own I. Zasu comes from Sasu. I think okay, accented, so Sasu. Which means to point. Other various extended meanings, to point, also to point out. Here with the voicing, because it's the second word part of the compound, is of strictly Japanese origin, as we have seen. That typically happens to those, especially in compounds. So yeah, mezasu, luckily also accented like sasu, means to aim at, to have an eye on. Funny enough, could also be a good translation to keep the me. But yeah, they aim even better for the sasu, because yeah, to point, technically the eye, so yeah, to aim at, for, to do, to become. Okay, in our case here, to become, aim for the title implied of Pokémon Champion. Mezasu, verb, and also Sasu on its own. Verb, and verb, so to make that a form, we have to follow the rules. Luckily, being in Su, it becomes the easiest one. We simply drop, change the U into I, continuity form, and then attach the test. So yeah, no changes for these ones. The E is barely heard if at all time, because it's speaking of voice constant. Mezashite. The accent doesn't move, because it's a verb, and verb, and so by following the rules, actually, then the accent is on the third to last molar, and so on the same one as the dictionary form on the Zai, in our case here. The form in this case required because we added then Minai from Miru, again, to see, to look at, to watch on its own. After that, the form of a verb, technically we could keep it as the literal meaning to do the action of the verb in te and look at implied the result to see, and see the result. So yeah, then its meaning becomes try doing the action of the verb in te. Mi ru verb is a verb, so we can drop the ru. To make the in reality not the state form, we could say negative form of the verb, and yeah, here to simply attach nai on its own, e adjective, which means non-existent, also used, as we can see here, to make the negative form of verbs in plain speech. After it we have ka, the interrogative particle, as already mentioned, the interrogative, the question mark to show the rising intonation. And this is the usage of a negative verb in Japanese, which is funny enough actually similar technique to a usage seen in English. Why don't you, or why not, and so on. So yeah, actually as a suggestion, how about, but yeah, then we would lose the negative. So yeah, we have a similar expression with negative verbs in English. Yeah, it's this usage here. Yeah, also used, for example, with invitations straight up. When you want to say, invite someone to go do something somewhere, ni ikimasen ka, for example. And before the ni, the verb, or straight up noun, refer that what you are doing, going to do in that location, wherever you are going to. But yeah, so here is saying, why don't you aim for the title implied of Pokémon Champion? And then he says, Ore wa Torena Janai. Technically, we'll stop there. Unfortunately, we don't have periods and so on in this game. Straight up as the rule, not just because of the arrow. Yeah, there it should stop there technically. So yeah, first and foremost we have ore, first person singular pronoun, I. Made to more language, this one in particular is actually considered rough, if not straight up arrogant. So be careful about it, but yeah, it's quite used in anime, manga, video games, as we have seen, unaccented. Wa written as a ha, the topic particle, so yeah, as for me. Torena, again. Janai. Janai is a contraction of dewa nai. First we have de, technically speaking, the form of the copula. Then wa, the topic particle, so yeah, literally as for being that the case. But another usage of the topic particle, which is actually most likely the one intended here, is when used with the negative verbs. Because technically, if you whatever is put before the topic particle is given information, the new information is after it, so the focus technically is on that, and that's why actually it's used with the negative in that sense, most likely. But yeah, so dewa, it's worth mentioning that it's actually straight up required nowadays, so yeah, you would have dewa nai to then add nai, and so actually make again the negative form here of the copula. More often than not, as we can see here, dewa gets contracted into ja. So yeah, he's saying, as for me, I'm not a trainer. Then he says, shikashi, katsu tame ni, well, actually I can move it so we can see it fully. Shikashi, katsu tame ni, bachiri adviso dekiru dekiru se, sorry. Yeah, makes sense to say actually with that ore at the start. Yeah, first and foremost we have shikashi. Conjunction, which means however. Accent on the ka. The first sh is always the e is always barely heard if at all because it's between our voice consonants. The second e of the she of the second she can also be barely heard if at all, following the rule of the similar rule when we have a preceding voice consonants and then a pause, usually found after, because we have a pause in the speech, straight up at the end of a sentence. Can be seen also for des, the polite copula, mas, polite auxiliary used for verbs. So yeah, technically here it could be shikashi, or if not, shikashi. After it we have katsu, where we have already seen most certainly in this series. It means to win, and also maybe in other series. Accent on the first mora. After it we have tame, so it should be tame. On the second, on the last mora, the accent, yes, it is tame. Strictly speaking, a noun, so it would be a verb in attributive position, or we could say, if it were more than the verb, a relative clause. Good, advantage, sake, purpose, also consequence, result. More often than not, the first and foremost, the most common usage is to make a final clause. So yeah, in order to, based on the letter translate meaning I mentioned, consequence can also be a causal clause, but yeah, that one actually less so. Yeah, more often than not, in order to. Yeah, especially here with ni after it. For well, to usually ni, but yeah, here by adapting we use for instead. Then we have batsiri. You might remember that we have seen before some words with this ri at the end. Yeah, they're technically onomatopoeias ending in ri. Luckily, the accent for those is always before ri itself. So yeah, batsiri. So on the chi in our case here. Batsiri means perfectly, right on the mark, spot on, bang on. Can also be completely, thoroughly, enough, sufficiently, technically. Then we have adobaisu, advice from English. Pretty sure we have seen it before in this series also. The accent should be like in English, yeah, on the advice, so yeah, on the ba. Technically a noun, but we can turn it into a verb by adding suru. Here on the other hand I have dekiru, because yeah, dekiru, to be able to do. Suru means an accented, means to do. Dekiru, accented, means to be able to do. So instead of conjugating suru, we straight up replace it with dekiru to make the potential form. Yeah, dekiru already means to be able to do. And yeah, so in this case, to be able to give, by adapting it in English, advice. Says the final sentence particle. adds like force or emphasis more in general, like in this case, let's say. In other contexts, like for example when our rival used it, threatening or ironic, made term or language, and also familiar language. But yeah, here is saying, so, however, I can give you perfect advice in order to win. And then he says, nah. Yeah, here straight up at the start. I wonder if I find it also here as. Well, technically, I'd say it would be still related to the final sentence particle na, so all the various meanings of that. In this case specifically, well, actually, when used at the start of a sentence, gets the meanings, hey, listen. So yeah, actually similar to the yo more than ne. We have seen that unfortunately this na has some meanings of its own and also some meanings that are the same as ne and yo. This one technically closer to yo. So yeah, hey, or well. Then he says, Isho ni Pokémon champion mezasou ze. First and foremost, we have Isho. Well, Isho ni specifically, technically. But yeah, Isho. Usually, technically a noun, but yeah, usually used adverbial with the addition of ni. Ni is used to make adverbs from nouns. Most likely, I'd say actually it's the continuative form of the of nari, the classical copula. So yeah, literally would be then being that the case, being whatever that noun is. Yeah, Isho, unaccented, yeah, it's a Chinese compound. Actually means together. So together. Pokémon champion again. Mezasou, so Mezasu again, but in this case we change the U into O and then add U. So actually make changing into a long O. And the U is simply makes the preceding O longer. And so actually to make the volitional form of the verb, so yeah, let's in its most common meaning, and also in this case here, let's aim for the title of Pokémon Champion together, and yeah, at the end again, ze. And yeah, here we can choose hi, yes, yeah, no. I want to try no. And yeah, if you say no, it says this. Enryo wa iranze. Enryo, we check its accent, is a Chinese compound. Okay, this is one of those unaccented ones, the most common one. Enryo means reserve, constraint, restraint, modesty, and so on. Hesitation. And yeah, it can be used with. It's a noun, technically can be turned into a verb with suru, quite used in that way. But also in this case here we have the noun technically. Again, there's no need. Well, I was already mentioning the translation, but yeah. Enryo. Then we have the topic particle wa, so yeah. As for reserve, Iran from Iru. Not the one we have already mentioned to be as in to exist, also used for with the te for the continuing action or state. This is a different one. Iru, the one we've already mentioned, is a ru verb, it's a verb. This one is a u verb, codon verb, despite being in Iru. Because yeah, verbs in Iru and Eru usually are more often than not are root verbs, instant verbs. But there are some notable exceptions, and you straight up have to remember them. When you find them conjugated, you have no doubt, because they would be conjugated differently, like in this case. This one is a U verb, codon verb, which means still unaccented also. Unfortunately, you can't distinguish them because of that. To be needed, to be necessary, technically to need, to by extension also to want. But yeah, strictly speaking, to need. Then we can, in translation, to be needed, to be necessary. So yeah, we can change the U verb, codon verb, we can change the U into A to make the irrealist, not yet state, negative form. In this case, to add N, which is another form to make the negative a contracted one. Actually, originally this one comes from classic forms found in classical Japanese. But yeah, nowadays it's still used usually with this N as a contraction. And then again as the final sentence particle. So yeah, it's saying, as for reserve and however you want to translate it, the other similar translations, isn't needed. And yeah, after that it says, ja sassoku. So he ignores that you said no, and proceeds saying ja. Again, a contraction of dewa, and yeah, can be found dewa also at the start of a sentence, so as in well then. So yeah, literally, as for that being the case, what has been said above, technically. Or yeah, simply as in then, well then, well. And then we have sassoku. We've seen that before. Chinese compound, unaccented, like most of those. At once, immediately, without delay, promptly. Straight up uses the two kanji that mean fast. The first one, more specifically, technically early. The one we have actually already studied. The other one, more specifically, fast, usually. Especially when used with the readings, the strictly Japanese reading, hai. We have that distinction. In compounds, less so, but yeah, that's because of in Chinese compounds, because of Chinese. They're clearly still related. So he says, well then, at once, immediately, suspension dots, and then he would continue with, would start to explain, but we'll actually take our usual break now, because it makes more sense to see it after, because that will be the tips for the gym. And yeah, we'll check that out after the break, around 5 minutes, most likely slightly less. And yeah, when we'll be back, we'll finish seeing what this character has to say. Check out actually also these statues here on the side. And then we'll properly start the gym. So yeah, see you in around 5 minutes, most likely slightly less. And we're back. Yeah, so we can continue. And yeah, as we we were saying, well then, at once, and now actually, immediately, without delay, I put the delay myself with the break. Then he says, 勝負の最初に飛ぶ出すポケモンは、勝負, a term we've already seen a lot in this game, unsurprisingly, because yeah, it means literally victory or defeat, but yeah, then by extension, match, Chinese compound accent on the first monad is one, the second most common accent for those. Yeah, match, in the case of Pokemon battles. Cosa si parte no? Saisho. Sai again, we've already seen the Chinese compounds with that. Most, whatever the second kanji says. In this case, Sho is the one which means start, beginning. The one of Hajimete. An accented Saisho, like most of the Chinese compounds. So yeah, literally would be the most at the start. So yeah, it's then simply becomes beginning, outset, we could say technically, first, and so on. Noun, but yeah, we can make it into an adverb by adding the particle ni, or again, potentially it's the origin, it's the quotative form of the copula, the classical copula. Then we have Tobidasu. Tobidasu, compound verb, we've actually seen it before. Here, simply, not in its strictly literal meaning, we have seen Tobidasu, compound of Tobu, to fly, but also to jump, depending on the kanji. Related, if you think about it, because yeah, to start flying, you technically jump. But yeah, that's the most likely the logic behind it. Yeah, regardless, we change the Tobu verb column verb, we change the U into I. Then add the second quotative form, to then add the second verb part of the compound, Dasu. That one we have even studied the kanji. To put out, and so on, various extended meanings. When added as the second verb part of the compound, simply adds the meaning out. Or also another usage is to burst into, so technically to start, but yeah, more specifically to burst into, as we'll see when we find it. But yeah, here is simply out, so literally to jump out. And we should have seen it in this very series with the Pokemon, the wild Pokemon, that are perfect for that. Here, most likely, more in general, technically, to come out. Yeah, actually, because actually comes out at the start of the fight. After it, we have Pokemon, so yeah, relative close. And then the topic particle wa. So yeah, as for so it's saying here, as for the Pokemon that comes out at the start, at the outset of the battle, expansion dots. Okay, no, it's okay. He's talking about us then. Yeah, I forgot about it, but yeah, now based on this, I can see that's about that, because yeah, he says then Pokemon Risto no Hidarigawa no Yatsuda. So yeah, we have Pokemon Risto list. From English should be the accent the same. We'll check. as we have seen, there are some words from English that become unaccented in Japanese. Some also slightly change the accent. But yeah, the most common ones are following the rule, the same accent as in Japan in English. Perfect. Like in our case here, Risto. Then we have some that become unaccented. Some weird ones that change spot of the accent. Most likely to adapt it to the more typical locations of the accent in Japanese. The most typical one, third to last more. But yeah. Possessive particle, no. Hidarigawa. A compound noun, this one. Literally, we have Hidari should be unaccented, but I'll check. Left. As in the side. Yeah, Gawa actually then means side. The left side, literally. And yeah, let me find the accent. Okay, Hidari unaccented, so I remember correctly. Gawa technically would be kawa, but yeah, usually nowadays used as a suffix, and then it becomes voiced consonant, because again the rule of compound words, of the second word part of compound words, especially of strictly Japanese origin, would be yeah, technically there's also the distinction of the accent between kawa and kawa. Kawa accent on the last mora, gawa accent doesn't matter to us because yeah, we use it here in this compound. Becomes unaccented. Let me get the physical dictionary. Got the physical dictionary to check if it's if I can find there in the list of the suffixes gawa, and so confirm that it's always the case here. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, unsurprisingly, it always makes the word unaccented. So yeah, in our case here, hidarigawa unaccented. But yeah, also if we used, for example, migi, which means right, which on its own should be no, is also unaccented, sorry. So yeah, technically, yeah, gawa as a suffix makes would make the compound always unaccented according to the dictionary. So yeah, you have to remember it, but then it makes it actually easier technically. Like we have seen, for example, for hiro, color, on its own accent on the last mora, but yeah, when used as a suffix, we get the name of the colors. And they're always an accent, so yeah, pretty convenient. Then we have the possessive particle no, and then we have yatsu. We have seen it before, also in this series, but other ones, I think this one as well. Fellow, guy. By extension can also be thing, object, but yeah, no, in our case technically fellow. Actually, as we have seen the Pokemon list, so actually referring to our Pokemon. And then Yatsu accent on the first mora, Yatsu. So high-low. Last but not least, the copula in plain speech, da. So the translation here is, as I was saying, as for the one, the Pokemon that comes out first, is the fellow of, literally in Japanese. In English we would say then on the left side of, this we will keep also in English, the Pokemon list. So I was talking actually about our Pokemon. And yeah, here. So yeah, this is a good tip. And we actually do it before tackling the gym. Risto no Junban o Kaereba, Yuri ni Naru Kotomo Aru. Yeah, we have Risto again, to the particle no. Junban, another Chinese compound, as you might have guessed. Think also an accent, yes it is. It means order, turn, yeah, order more in general. Object particle O. Kaereba, from Kaeru. This one, the unaccented one, I'd say the basic one, which means simply to change. So yeah, Ru verb is a verb, so we can change the U into E. To then add sorry, no, in this case, yeah, okay. I was thinking a certain thing. Yeah, no, indeed, no worries. That's yeah, we change the U into E. To then add ba, and so make one of the forms of the conditional in Japanese. This is the closest, well, conditional can also, if, when, similar to English, so actually also temporal. This is the closest one to the first conditional, but yeah, can also be other ones technically. But yeah, a relatively basic form of the conditional in Japanese. So yeah, if you, or when, well, if in this case better, if you change, then we have Yuri, another Chinese compound. We should have seen it, I think we might have seen it before. If we haven't, regardless, this accent on the first more. Yes, it is. Advantages, favorable. Yeah, literally we have the first kanji, which means to be as in to exist, the kanji of Aru. In Chinese, straight up also technically then to have. And so then also actually in the usage of Aru we have seen also in Japanese. So that as, and then the ri is the part that means advantage, benefit, profit, interest. So advantages, favorable, and so on. Profitable also straight up. Particle ni, to, into, again because we have Naru once more. After it we have Koto, strictly speaking a noun, so technically it would be relative close. Koto we have seen, thing as in matter, another nominalizer for verbs. Cioè the fact, the matter of doing the action of the verb. Mo, the inclusive particle, also even. And then Aru is actually the verb. So yeah, there is, there are, then we could say by to be as in to exist of inanimate things, so yeah, the verb. But yeah, in translation then we could say there is, there are. So yeah, here it says that yeah, if you change the order of the list, literally there is that the matter of it becoming advantageous, favorable. Cioè, it can be also favorable. And yeah, then it says Tameshite minayo. tamesu is a verb, Godan verb. Means to try out. More specifically, we could say technically, and its original meaning, also based on the kanji, to test. So in the sense to put to the test, and then by extension to try out, to have a try at. Accent tamesu. Yeah, verb Godan verb, but yeah, to make the form again, which is the untui, and then to make the form, and then that's the. The form again required because then we have the miru once more. So yeah, to avoid to try, yeah, try, testing, putting to the test. Miru, in this case, verb is a verb, so we can drop the ru. Make the continuative form, in this case, to add na, which is a contraction of nasai. Nasaru means to do, is the honorific, specifically respectful form of the verb suru. It's used accented, should be. I've seen it before, yes it is. Its most typical usage we've seen as nasai, which is actually its continuative form. Despite being an verb, Godan verb, these and some other honorific verbs make the continuative form by dropping the ru and adding e, or better, most likely the origin is change the u into e, nasa, ri, but then the r fell, and so yeah, only they remained nasai. Yeah, continuative form. Because actually it would add, usually nowadays it's implied, masse, which is the imperative form of must, auxiliary, to make the polite form of verbs. So yeah, a form of polite. We straight up would use masse in the extended form, and also an honorific verb, respectful verb, nasaru. So yeah. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle yo. Here it's a simply certainty or emphasis. Or we could say by extension encouragement. Or a soft order, even better, since we have a technical imperative, even though a polite one. But yeah, he's saying it here, so yeah. Try putting it to the test. So yeah, he said that. Yeah, he says the same. Yeah, I wanted to quickly show that if you say yes, he says Yossa. You might have heard it before. Well, actually, I think we have actually also seen it in not in this series. Not sure if in this series or another one, but I think we have seen it once before. Yeah, it's a colloquial expression, exclamation, we could say, clearly still from Yoshi. Yoshi is the classical form of the verb e, well, yoi. There's e on its own, yoi comes back in conjugation, which means good. So then yosh can also be used as an expression and as an exclamation, interjection. Alright, okay. Yeah, this one, same but colloquial, so gotcha, alrighty, and so on. Also here with a longer vowel and then the small su, so actually an abrupt interruption, technically speaking a glottal stop. Oh yeah, so it says that, but then it is that. Okay, let's quickly check what it says here. First, it says maybe Pokémon Gym again. the Pewter Pokémon Gym, Takeshi, Brock in Japanese. Ninte, this one is new. Ninte is a noun which means authorization, acknowledgement, better that in our case here, recognition. Chinese compound, an accent as usual. Trainer, again, sorry. The trainers acknowledged, recognized by Takeshi. And yeah, there's Green, our rival. So yeah, with all that done, we can actually start tackling the gym. Luckily, it's a short one, so we should be able to do it. Yeah, first let's change Pokemon. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want Pikachu on top. Yeah, we start with Mankey, low level, but actually don't remember if we won't check this, but okay, no, we had learned the fighting move. I thought so, but wanted to be sure. We can start with the trainer here. And yeah, by the way, notice that you could technically avoid it, avoid him. First and foremost, says Machina. From Matsu to wait to await, U verb go and verb, so yeah, we can change the U into I, make the conjugative form, again to add Na, again contraction, in this case of Nasai, so yeah, wait, also with that longer power, Machina. Yeah, actually, then it continues, so we'll focus on the first one. Kodomo ga nan no you da. Kodomo, first and foremost. Technically speaking, a compound. Yeah, from ko, an accent on its own. Already means child, children. Kodomo means child, children as well. In this case, we have this Tomo, companion, follower, and so on. Then it gets voiced again because of the usual rule. But yeah, nowadays usually you would use Kodomo for child or children, unaccented. Subject particle ga. Nan, from Nani. Interrogative pronoun, which means what. You might have heard of it also because of anime and memes. Here contracted into N. The accent is always on the Na, regardless. The first moment. Here contracted into N because we had the possessive particle no. Then we have Yo. This is a different Yo. It's actually the one we have studied, its kanji. Which means use, purpose, the fundamental meaning, but also yeah, business, task. So in our case that accented yo, so accented has to stay the accent on the yo because the U is only the longer vowel. Accent can stay on longer vowels, the moral nasal the doubling of the following consonant, the small su, and so on. But yeah. Then last but not least, yeah, yo is a noun, da the copula in plain speech. Yeah, what kind of business in English we would have to adapt it. Does a child have here, or with Brock implied? And yeah, after that it says Takeshi-san ni chousen nante ichiman konen hayain da yo. And yeah, first and foremost we have Takeshi-san, so yeah, Brock with the usual suffix san. Then we have the particle ni, to, towards, let's say in this case. Because then we have chosen. We see its accent, it's a Chinese compound, as usual. It means challenge, defiance technically, and so on, but yeah. Like fundamental meaning challenge, unaccented, it's a Chinese compound. Then we have this nante, still derived technically from nani, with this additional te. It gets the meaning how, what, strictly speaking, then extension how. In exclamations, like in our case here. Then we have the number 10,000, which in Japanese is 1 10,000, ichiman. We won't check that fully, but we'll check ichiman itself, the accent. It should be... okay, I wanted to avoid that, but I actually have to get the other... Well, actually I can... This one I should be able to find also in this dictionary, I think. Let me see. Ichima... Okay, yeah. Accented on the ma. But yeah, I'd say, yeah. Let's keep that in mind for now. So that's the accent. Numeral plus counter combination. My guess would be then that the accent should usually, if not always, be on the ma. For other ones, but we'll see it when we find more, or another time when we see them. Technically, after that we numeral plus counter. No, this one is strictly speaking numeral plus then another number, because yeah, we've seen also for 10. Well, not 10, for 1,000, yeah, similar to English in that sense. Not even that one, because usually with the one, those you use straight up the words for 1,000, 100, and so on. But yeah, when you use other numbers, then we have 2,000, 200, and so on, just like in English. But yeah. So this is the numeral. Funny enough, then we have konen. Okay. Konen means light year. Chinese compound, unaccented. And we'll see that there's a joke here, if you have already seen it also in English. My guess would be that konen becomes here the counter. This one actually, the counter. My suspicion is that it would be accented on the first more of konen. Can confirm it. Yeah. Regardless, after that we have hayai. Early in this case, so the one we have studied actually, and then we have nda, so the no we have already mentioned. After it, the copula da, the no gets contracted into n because of that. Well, no, actually can be kept as is, no da. In speech can be then simply contracted. So literally it is that, the fact is that, the explanation is that, and so on. This expression we have seen so much in Japanese, used a lot. Last but not least, final sentence particle yo, I'd say you know. You implied are 1/10,000 Ichiman typically used also for a really long, the man in general, the 10,000 for a really long time in Japanese. So 10,000 light year earlier in English, then we adapt it to challenge Brock. And yeah, so starts like that the fight. Oh yeah, this is a new trainer class we haven't seen before. Camp Boy, straight up from English. Camp Boy. Campu, notice the kya to simulate with the sounds k and g specifically. The e sounds. Campu, Campu. Oh yeah, from English camp, accent like that, so the kind, our case here. Boy, yeah, boy. Most likely also accented, but we'll see, like in English. Yes, it is. And we have the possessive particle no. Toshikazu, the name. And then the rest we have seen before, yeah. As challenge you to a fight, a battle. And yeah, he's sending as the Pokemon Ishitsubute, Geodude. And yeah, I'll mention it again, even though we have already seen, already explained its name in Pokemon Snap. It comes from Ishii again. And then we have Tsubute. Tsubute, funny enough, is also another word for stone, but more specific, this one stone used for throwing. Tsubute unaccented. So yeah, from two words for stone, yeah, the generic one and the one stone used for throwing. But yeah. Let's try this fight. Yeah, I use my fighting type move here. I don't remember if I had seen that. Mention it quickly. Actually, I don't think we have seen it because we might not have straight up seen a super effective move yet. But yeah, here it says Kokawa Batsugunda. Okay, no, we might have seen, but I quickly repeat it anyway. Koka that we have seen before, effect. Chinese compound, accent on the first mora, this one. Topic particle wa. And then we have this Batsugun. Another Chinese compound, of course. Unaccented, this one. Outstanding, excellent, exceptional, and so on. So yeah, literally in Japanese it says, as for the effect, it was outstanding, excellent, super effective. Okay, we can continue. Yeah, I think we might have actually seen it only once, but yeah. Yeah, we'll continue. Actually, I think he simply used, but I'll quickly check it here. No, okay, yeah, this is the new move, so I'll actually mention it. The name of the new move here, we have the usual structure: opponent, the name of the Pokemon, Geodude, topic particle 1. At the end, well, we have object particle, Tsukata, used. Before the object particle, the name of the move, which is Maruku-naru. Maruku from Marui. We've even studied one of its kanji, not the most typical one, but still. So we know that it means round, circular, also spherical, depending also on the kanji. Unaccented, we drop the E to add the Q, make the continuative form. He required, or also can be considered the adverbial form nowadays in Japanese, he required to add the naru, and so become whatever the adjective says, in our case, spherical. I don't remember the name of the move in English currently. So literally it means become spherical, and it's this move. I can quickly show, it simply increases the defense strength, literally. Nothing unusual there, we've already seen it. I'll continue with the kicks. Now it's getting reduced because of that. Unfortunately, his fighting moves are physical. No physical special speed yet in this generation. As for the attack, simply the usual tackle, body hit in Japanese. Again, that. Perfect. We defeated that with Mankey. So we're increasing its level. The next Pokemon will be that one. I'll actually switch, also considering that Mankey is kind of hurting. But also considering the type, because that one was ground rock. This one is only ground, so it's Sanshu. We've also seen this one in Pokemon Snap. It's called simply in Japanese Sando, sand. As we see, as we actually have seen before, also in Pokemon Snap, it's also an abbreviation technically of Sand/name Sandopan. Pan from pangolin, clearly. Here simply sand in English though. I might play, hopefully we'll be able to defeat it quickly, but I still use this move first. Still becomes a sphere as well. To be safe, I used that, and then we'll use our whip. Actually, with that, I feel like we should have seen it. I think we have seen that. Sand attack, and then also the precision, the accuracy falling. I'll avoid explaining it again, but I feel like we've seen it thanks to a PG or something along those lines. With that, also our Bulbasaur increases level. We won against the camp boy. The usual Shimata. Literally, I ended up doing by accident. Used an exclamation when you do something that you don't want to do, and also when you get defeated here. Actually, no, they're also considering these, and here's the punchline, because it says Ichiman konen wa jikan janai. So again, as for 10,000 light year, jikan janai, jikan, a Chinese compound, which means time. Strictly speaking, would be period of time, because that kan is space, period, and so on. G is the one that means time on its own. G is the kanji also for Toki. It's strictly Japanese reading, as we have already seen that. Jikan, an accented Chinese compound, as already mentioned. And then the negative copula, so 10,000 light years aren't time. So yeah. Oh yeah, then he adds Kyorida. Kyori, another Chinese compound. This one I feel like it's accent on the first mora. Yes, it is. Yeah, it means distance. Yeah, then the copula in the affirmative, so yeah, it's distance. Yeah. We quickly speak to him again. And yeah, it simply says, Omae nakanaka yaruna. Omae, second person singular pronoun, so you in the singular. I've already seen it, unaccented. Formerly honorific, notice the O, the honorific prefix, the usual one. But yeah, nowadays actually very informal. Then we have this nakanaka, which is an adverb. But yeah, clearly, simply actually the repetition of naka, the one we have studied this kanji already. That one means inside, within, middle, and so on. By repeating it, the accent becomes an accent, so be careful, instead of like naka on its own accent on the first mora. It becomes an adverb that actually simply maybe most could be because of the middle, so yeah, middle, so actually specifically in the middle. But yeah, its meaning is actually very, considerably, and so on, various extended ones. Then we have yaru, the colloquial form of suru, and other several extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental usage is the colloquial form of suru, also unaccented. Na as the final sentence particle. Here I'd say most like it's as a ne, so right. Aren't you better in our case here? So yeah, you are doing well. I'd adapt it like that. Aren't you? Then he says, "Oh, Takeshi-san hodo janai kedo na." Yeah, Takeshi-san again. Hodo. Well, we should have seen it before, a noun, which means unaccented, sorry, yeah. Which means extent, degree. And yeah, after it we have janai again, the negative copula. After it, kedo, but, however, a conjunction. Na again as the final sentence particle. In this case, I'd say actually as ayo, you know. So yeah, he's saying it's not to the extent of proc, but we would move it at the start here, or however better in English, you know. So yeah. Okay, hopefully, well, I'll actually quickly use, just to be sure, yeah, we'll start still with Mankey. I'll use a potion here, we'll avoid going back to, yeah, we only heal 10, but still just to be sure. I will save actually, just to avoid issues potentially. But yeah, we'll try to defeat also Brock here. At worst, we'll save some of the dialogue for the next time, but yeah, the battle in itself we'll tackle now. Yeah, first and foremost, it says Kitana. So yeah, Kita, so yeah, the past form of Kuru, so yeah, came. or you have come. Na again as the final status particle. Then it says, Ore wa nibi Pokémon Gym Rida no Takeshi. Simply, as for me, I'm the Pewter Pokémon Gym leader, Takeshi. Title before the qualification, before the name with the no in between. And then he says, Ore no katai ishi wa Ore no Pokémon ni mo arawareru. And yeah, we have Ore no again, so actually of me, my. Katai ishi, yeah, most likely in this case specifically, technically, strong will, but again with the wordplay of ishi. Big particle wa. Ore no Pokemon, my Pokemon. Ni mo, a combined particle. On the ni, in this case we'll see because it's required by the verb. Mo, also even as usual. And yeah, the verb is arawareru. It means to appear, to show up, and so on. I want to check the accent though. Because I feel... Okay, no, accented. Arawareru. So the yeah, to appear, to come inside, to become visible, to come out. In the sense, to be expressed also, to become apparent by extension. But yeah, so he's saying, as for my strong will, it is visible on, also on my Pokemon. And then he says, Katakte Gaman Tsuyoi. Well, actually, Gaman Zuyoi. Well, first and foremost, again, Katakte. Katai simply with we drop the E at the Q to make the continuative form, then attach the T to make the form. And then we have this Gaman Zuyoi, a compound adjective. Gaman on its own should be an accented. No, actually, accent on the first more. It's a Chinese compound, so the second most common one. Endurance. Yeah, technically that. Patience, perseverance, and so on. Bearing. Its original meaning, based also on the kanji, is actually self-control, technically, self-restraint, and then by extension, those ones. Yeah, we then simply add tsuyoi with the voicing because it becomes a compound. The usual rule, as already mentioned. Luckily, the accent is the same as tsuyoi, accented. So yeah, it's strong, literally, endurance, patience, and so on. So yeah, very patient, persevering. So yeah, firm, literally also hard, as in like rocks, and very patient or persevering. And then he says, so that way technically, but yeah, as in that's the case here, accented with this usage, as we've seen. The other one, actually from the Kosodo series, unaccented when used as an adverb. Oh yeah, then he says, Tsukao no wa iwa taipu bakkari da. So yeah, actually, tsukau, unaccented, to use. No as the nominalizer, so yeah, topic particle wa. Iwa, actually think accent on the last more, but we'll check. Rock boulder. Yeah, this is actually rock, but as in a boulder, a bigger one. Yeah, accent on the last more. Yeah, then type, so yeah, it's the rock type. And yeah, then we have Baccari. We have seen it before. Here also with its doubling of the consonant and so more emphatic. Baccari in general means nothing but so technically only, but actually, as can be seen here, usually because yeah, not the usual dake as only, that's the fundamental only in Japanese. This one has the connotation of, because it's fully, in a sense we could say, because yeah, it has exclusively rock types. It's full of rock types. And then yeah, after it we have the copula. So yeah, it's as for the ones I use, the Pokémon implied with that no I use, it's only rock types. And then it says huhaha laugh, Makeru to wakatte te tatakau ka. And yeah, we have Makeru. Which means to lose. I don't remember the accent. Okay, an accented. Then we have to, another form of the conditional if when, can also be temporal. This is the closest one to the zero conditional. Oh yeah, after it we have wakatte te. From wakaru, to understand, verb colon verb. So yeah, to make that form we change it into double consonant te. Then we have another te, so actually it should be te iru, the I contracted again, but changed also then into the te form itself, to verb is and verb. So yeah, we would drop the ru, add the te to the I, the conjugative form. But if the I is dropped, then yeah, we would have this. So yeah, the first te, most certainly te iru. The second one, te, actually has the usual meanings. Do that and the rest of the sentence, or by doing, while doing, and so on. And then we have tatakau, an accented fight, to fight. Final sentence particle ka. The interrogative particle, but notice that we have an exclamation here, so yeah, not an actual question, more rhetorically. Oh yeah, so here is saying you'll understand, well, by fighting, you'll understand, well, we'll fight, and should be the other way around technically. If you lose and understand, yeah, we'll fight. So he's saying that that we lose, but yeah. And yeah, last but not least, it says Pokémon Torena no Sagada na Pokémon Trainer no of Pokémon Trainer. And then we have this Saga Saga, yeah, no, not from English. That one would be with a longer vowel for. Well, actually not used straight up, I think. Oh yeah, no. This saga means one's nature, one's destiny. The accent is usually not. It's not particularly used on the first mora. Okay. Oh yeah, so he's saying it's the nature, destiny of Pokemon trainers. Then he says I darò. I again to be good. Good as the adjective. Darò. The dubitative, but here actually most likely in the other usage right. So actually not dubitative at all, because actually the person does think that's the case. So yeah, here by the way, Darò should be unaccented. We don't keep the accent of Darò, unlike the dubitative. So only the accent of I Darò. It's okay, isn't it? And yeah, then he says Kakatte koi. From technically kakaru, the intransitive form of the verb to hang and so on. We've also seen other common usage to take a resource, time or money. But yeah, here this expression it means to start in a way. Not sure if I straight up find it here in the dictionary. But yeah, it's a typical expression here. We turn it into its form, and then we add koi from kuru. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why it's completely irregular. Koi is the imperative form in plain speech. So yeah, the form with kuru, a verb of movement, so doing the action in that direction in this case. We could say, come at me, or something along those lines in English. Yeah, so we'll actually start it. Yeah, we should be able to at least finish it. Then I'll simply save what it says after. Yeah, we start again with a Geodude. For now, I'll try to do some damage with Mankey. Good start there. Okay, perfect. They missed the attack. The tackle, that one really worries me even more than the defense increase that he's doing now. Although it had quite the effect there. Oh boy, okay, we're fine. Perfect. Even got a critical there, but yeah. Didn't matter. Nice, so we are increasing our levels here of Mankey. Perfect. And yeah, we have another Pokemon here. I'm tempted to keep Mankey for a little here. I would like to get at least one hit. But yeah, here we have Onyx, called in Japanese Iwaku. Most likely from Iwa again, rock as in boulder. And that long vowel ku, most likely is actually from snake from English. So yeah, literally rock, snake, by removing the first part of snake. Oh yeah, so that's the Japanese name of Onyx. This one we haven't seen yet, even in other games. Okay, I'll try one hit here, but okay, it actually was pretty good there. But here Mankey really risks I send Bulbasaur. So actually both will get some experience. Yeah, I'll go for my usual strategy. Okay, this one. I get also that. I'll quickly show this. We have a new move here. Shimetsukeru. I feel like we might have seen either Shimeru on its own or even straight up this one. Okay, compound verb from Shimeru, which on its own means to tighten. Let me actually check its accent. Okay, accented. To tie, to fasten, to tighten, and so on. Other extended meanings. Ru verb is and verb, so we can drop the ru to add to make the continuative form, to then attach the second verb part of the compound. The usual skeru to attach, to apply, to and so on. But yeah, we actually get another verb which means to tighten. We could say to fasten, tight, to constrict. Even better, so yeah. Because of that, we have it reinforces the meaning of Shimeru. Luckily, still accented like Skeru, so accented. Yeah, there I actually missed it. In this one, yeah, it simply says, as for Bulbasaur, by the opponent Onyx with the particle Ni, and yeah, we have Shimetsukeru again, but in the passive form. Ru verb is and verb Tsukeru, and so also Shimetsukeru. So yeah, we change the U into A and then add Reru to make the passive form. Be tightened, be constricted better. Passive forms are Ru verbs is and verbs. So yeah, we drop the Ru, make the contractive form, and add Ta to make the passive form of the verb. I wanted to show that. I will use our attacker here to be sure. That is slightly different, so I'll show it quickly. So yeah, he's saying as for Fushigidane, so yeah, as for Bulbasaur, Shimetsukeru, again, the verb constrict, as in the name of the move in this case, because then we have the no as the possessive particle. Damage from English. Or more, actually, I think we might have seen it before. And we mentioned... no, okay. It's like that. I think we mentioned it because of the different accent. Yeah, the accent here is on the me. Yeah, in English I would say damage on the da, but yeah, no, it's on the me in Japanese. So on the third to last more. So the change might be simply because of that, and the longer vowel could be also influenced by French or other languages. But yeah. Object particle, and then uketeiru, so yeah, ukeru, to receive, to get, with damage, like in our case here, to sustain damage, accented, ukeru, ru verb is and verb, so yeah, we can then simply drop the ru, make the continuative form add te, and then te, because we had also a ru continuing action or state. So yeah, he's taking damage, the damage of constrict. But yeah, we should actually finish the fight here with this. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, we're increasing our levels here. This is the usual one. Won the fight with Gym Leader Takeshi. This will save. Yeah, we'll check this the next time. Yeah, at this point it's better if we end it here. Yeah, we have this. These. Okay. Yeah, save them as images actually. Okay. Yeah, no, this is the usual. We got the prize money. This doesn't matter. This. Okay, this I need to save as a video because that was that for only a second. This. This. Ah, yeah, here there's the whole explanation. Yeah, you can see that there's a lot actually. There's the whole explanation of TMs. I think I should have saved that. Save it also as a video just to be sure. Okay. I should have saved everything. I quickly check just to be sure. I also save it as a video here. We should have everything. If we missed something, oh well at that point, but no, I think we should have everything. Yeah, we have those. Okay, I think we should be fine here. Yeah, there because of the it went away immediately. Yeah, the whole explanation there pretty long because of that. But yeah, okay. We should have everything. I'll save. Notice that we now have one badge. But yeah, so we start from that next time. Yeah, we can close the game. And yeah, so today we continued Pokémon FireRed. We talked to the girl outside of the gym, tackled the gym, and yeah, we were actually able to do it, except for Brock's speech after. Yeah, we didn't have the time for that as well. So next time we continue, we start with that, and then we'll see from there. Although we might have less time, because you might have seen that there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So as usual, we'll watch that the next day. So on Wednesday. It's a pretty long one. I'm not sure if we'll straight up be able to play anything else of the regular series after it. If we can, we'll play some more Pokémon FireRed, a little. I doubt it, but we'll see. But yeah, the most important thing is that actually we'll move Star Fox, because yeah, that I'd rather play fully one episode of that also this week. We'll move that exceptionally to Friday. So yeah, see you on Wednesday for the Direct for sure. Maybe a little more Pokémon FireRed after it. On Friday for Star Fox. And I want to mention incidentally that on Monday I won't be able to stream because I'll be busy. But yeah, I repeat that when the time comes. I wanted to mention especially the Direct and the moving of Star Fox to Friday. But yeah, see you next time.